Welcome to TMC Newsroom. I'm Carrie Schmelkin, and we're in Cloud Expo in Santa Clara this week. On our program right now is Brett Adams, CTO and Senior Vice President of Engineering at rPath. Brett, welcome to the program.
Great, thanks for having me.
Thanks. So to just begin, tell us a little bit about rPath, when you were founded, your value proposition.
Sure. rPath's about 6 years old, maybe a little older than that. I've been with the company about 5.5 years myself. And what we're really all about is how applications, complex, multi-component apps, how they get onto the infrastructure. Whether it's cloud, of course, being the topic of the day, or whether it's physical, or even just plain old virtual machines, we basically are all about automating application delivery to the infrastructure, to the cloud.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about what brings you to Cloud Expo.
Yes, I'm actually here as a speaker.
Great.
I'll be presenting tomorrow morning, doing a session entitled The 7 Deadly Sins of Cloud Computing. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of fun. It actually, honestly, though, is built out of our experiences with customers and observing the way people, when they first try and think about how to take perhaps virtualization and turn it into cloud, they make some mistakes related to the way they used to think about the problem. And there's a lot of things that we've learned and that we want to help communicate to folks about, hey, watch out for this, watch out for that, watch out for this.
Right.
So yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
Okay, great. And tell us a little bit about what's been going on with you guys recently, any new announcements or anything that you really want to highlight.
Sure. We've been doing a lot of work, I say, about 6.5 years now. But what we've particularly done in the last few months is we've sort of shifted our go-to-market strategy. And this is frankly because the cloud is becoming very real. I mean, we saw over the course of the last 3 quarters, the vast majority of the prospects we're talking to and our customers, they're really now motivated by the desire to use cloud computing, particularly to deliver a private cloud. Great example is Cisco. They have a private cloud known as Cities. It's their own internal private cloud, and we're part of that solution architecture. And it's all about, again, how you get the apps on the cloud. And so really where we're coming from is that now we're focused on how to enable the private cloud to go from being perhaps an infrastructure-only kind of thing to an application cloud. And you've seen us make some product announcements. We've actually really gone to market through partnering. So it's been quite a change for us. The core technology, though, is still the same. So we've really, proven that over the last 6 years.
Okay, great. How do you keep distinguishing yourselves in this marketplace?
Yeah, it often is difficult, particularly when cloud isn't necessarily a well-defined concept.
Right.
So one of the ways we distinguish is simply to talk to folks and say, look, the business cares about apps. They really don't care about infrastructure.
Okay.
You need that infrastructure, but we can bring applications to it, right? So part of it is just really talking more about what the business wants and being clear about that message. Part of it is that the way we approach the problem is actually kind of unique. As a lot of folks will help you automate things. Typically it's done by scripting or runbook automation. HP and BMC would talk about that. We approach it as a modeling problem, and it's kind of like having a GPS. We basically have a technology that treats systems that you want to deploy or that you want to upgrade as if they were like destinations on a map, and we compute all the operations needed to get from where they are to where you want to be, upgrade them, roll them back. We compute that automatically, just like the GPS computes how to get from A to B for you. So that's kind of the big difference we have, is a real technological advantage in the way we approach the problem.
Okay, that's a great analogy.
Yeah, we use it a lot. I find that, again, folks are often very confused about all these technology layers. And, the course of my career, finding clear analogies or clear metaphors often helps people go, oh, that's just like something else.
Right.
Now I start to get it.
Right. Frankly,
a lot of what we're doing in the cloud space is really just repeating some of the old patterns. You may recall during the .com explosion, we had a lot of e-commerce sites, right, being built very quickly. And at the time, there was the emergence of the application server. It was this piece of technology that if you bought one would help you get an e-commerce site delivered really quickly. Well, the app server, as we came to call it, it's a piece of technology that only a programmer can love because it doesn't do anything by itself, right? You've got to write code. Cloud computing as an infrastructure sort of activity really doesn't do anything for the business. You've got to get the app on it. So when I talk to people about, you remember the e-commerce boom and the app server that you bought, all that? Remember how it was really just infrastructure at the end of the day and there was all this work still needed? That's kind of where cloud is right now.
Okay.
There's a lot more pieces to the puzzle involving how you get the app there, what's your policies, your practices, who you partner with, how your channel fits in, and a lot of that looks very much like it did. It's just the terms have changed and we've moved up the layer perhaps a few stages. So I find examples and analogies and comparisons help folks go, great, now I remember that pattern.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So where is rPath headed next?
Yeah, I mean, we continue to focus on this sort of idea that you should manage models of systems, not images of systems, not scripts of systems, So we're going to continue to expand the scope of what you can model. Today we do virtual machine kind of content, all the software in the box. We manage upgrades, deployment to any kind of cloud, physical or virtual environment. We're continuing to integrate now multiple machines together, starting to model like how the network pieces relate to each other. The sort of things you're seeing other vendors do, it's just in our case, instead of it being a thin sort of piece of value, it's very deep. I mean, we literally know every software element that goes into deployment down to the individual file level on the disk. So we've got a very deep technology. We continue to deepen that, but at the same time we're going to broaden it and continue to expand its scope of applicability. That's a big piece of what we're doing.
Sounds exciting.
It is. It's actually great fun. It's really great when you get a customer who says, wow, now that I get it, I see that instead of deploying maybe 20 systems a month and being able to manage maybe 20 upgrades per maintenance window, I can push button deploy hundreds of different apps. I can do it 2 to 3 times a day. One of our customers, Disney, that's exactly what they have going on. 2 to 3 production changes a day because they got an application portfolio that's large. They got an agile development process that's increasingly changing those apps kind of at the speed of business, and they're deploying them on thousands of machines. So when you get those 3 things multiplied together, that's a change management nightmare. You need something like us. So it's great when a customer says, this helps me. That's the best part of it. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Brett, for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.